What's going on, guys? Next mic up back again. And yes, I know it's been a long time. It's been a while. I apologize. I've had a lot of stuff going on, but I'm trying to get back on this content creation stuff. I got someone that's going to help me edit my other videos, like the non-sport stuff, the playthroughs, different gameplays like that. I got a Phasmophobia gameplay coming. It might actually be out before this. I don't really know. You know how content creation is, or you don't. Whatever works. But today I'm going to be doing, actually, I'll look now. I can look this way. Today I'm going to be doing what if. So the biggest thing right now in the NFL is J.J. Watt. Beside, Deshaun Watson getting traded, the random Russell Wilson trade rumors. But I think the biggest story to me right now that's actually realistic with what's going to happen, who's going to go where, is J.J. Watt. So I'm not doing a rebuild. I think what I might do is I might do a rebuild of the team J.J. Watt goes to. And what we'll try to do is we will try to win J.J. a Super Bowl. Or we'll just try to rebuild the team until he retires and see if we can win him multiple Super Bowls or a Super Bowl. But from a tweet from, I think it was the one like long-term ESPN guy. Is it Mark Clayton, something like that?
Who?
He said that there's only 3 teams left in the J.J. Watt sweepstakes, and no, it is not the Steelers anymore, so no brotherly love. I mean, it's not Philly, but would have been brotherly love. But anyways, so, no reuniting with TJ and Derek Watt. So it's down to the Titans, the Bills, and the Packers. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put him on every single team. I'm going to put him on the Titans, the Bills, and the Packers for one season, starting from the season. Like, let's see what would have happened if they had J.J. Watt. Do the Bills make the Super Bowl with another, good pass rusher? Do the Titans beat the Ravens? Do the Titans go farther in the playoffs? Do the Packers make the Super Bowl? Like, how much better does J.J. Watt make these teams? That's my biggest thing, Like, some of these teams have the cap space, like they have the roster flexibility, and that's the thing with JJ. He's more of a 3-4 defensive end anyways. So I think the Titans is definitely a good fit. You look at the roster, I mean, you have the best running back in the league, guy who's put up 2,000-yard rushing seasons multiple times, really good offense. Defensively, they had a terrible pass coverage unit all season. Awful. I mean, they traded for Des King midway through the season. They allowed, I think it was the most, 31st in the league, I think, in receiving yards, something like that, passer rating. It was really bad. They had a really bad pass coverage unit this year. So what I'm going to do here is I want to see, and we're just going to send the season. Let's see if the Titans get extremely better, or sometimes in Madden circumstances get worse adding J.J. Watt, because that makes sense. But let's just see if J.J. Watt was on the team this year, because obviously, if it's next year, Clowney might not probably be on the team. Des King might not be on the team. I think Malcolm Butler might not be on the team. But I'm trying to think of who else would not be on the team. So, that's the big question, is who would be and who wouldn't be on the team. So I think that's interesting to do it this way to see how good the team would be. So we're going to do the Titans first, then we're going to do the Packers, then we're going to do the Bills. And we're going to see how good they really are and see how far they could actually go with a guy like J.J. Watt on the team, with a star passer, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. Now, when it comes to the 3 teams left, we're going to detail the Titans first, obviously. I think it makes sense Tennessee-wise because, you're going to a 3-4. JJ can still be an elite pass rusher, good run stuffer. I mean, obviously, as he's going through the twilight of his career, he's not going to be the same pass rushing guy he once was, but he still can be very, very, very good, especially next to Harold Landry, 2 really good inside linebackers like Jayon Brown and Rashaan Evans, and then Jeffrey Simmons has just been amazing. After, this year he had a really good year. I think he's a very underrated defensive end, nose tackle, whatever you want to call him. And Clowney didn't have the greatest year, but we'll see what happens with Clowney, where he goes, or if he comes back to Tennessee. I kind of doubt it. But that'd be kind of cool if you had Clowney and JJ back together. They were very disruptive together. I think Clowney should have had more sacks, but he kind of became more of a run-stuffing kind of guy next to JJ. So I think that would be kind of cool. And then obviously the Mike Vrabel connection. I mean, he had his best years with Mike Vrabel, so why not come back to Tennessee? I think a lot of guys from that Tennessee team had a good connection with Mike Vrabel, and that's why they're thinking about coming here, So we're going to do the Titans sim first. Let's sim out midway season. And let's see how the team's doing. Let's look at the outlook, and then we'll sim to the end of the season, and then we'll switch to the next teams. So let's finish this season first. Okay, so here we are at the midway point. The Titans are currently 5-2 with J.J. Watt. That's about where they were, I believe. I think they were maybe a little bit less. I know the Colts were really good this year. They had a really good battle between those two in that division. They were both head and head. One was 5-2, one was 5-2, one was 6-3, one was 6-3. So it's about the same pace right now. We'll see how the harder part of their schedule comes up, because you see they have the Colts, the Ravens, the Colts, the Browns. I don't know how they lost to the Bengals, but let's see how JJ's doing so far with this team. Personally, I mean, Tannehill's having a good year, as you expect. Henry, I mean, okay, not bad. Adam Humphries. Okay, so let's see how defensively is what's going on. So JJ only has 4 sacks midway through the season, 4 TFLs, 17 tackles. I mean, JJ's not having a bad year. You're playing with some really talented young defensive players in Tennessee, and look at Jadeveon Clowney just benefiting. He had his best years with J.J. Watt. Obviously, ever since he's kind of left and hasn't with J.J. Watt anymore, he's not the same guy. But why are these? These are not his career stats. Okay. That's a undrafted? Bro, Madden's so broken. I can't even see JJ's stats. I was going to compare it, but, whatever. But I want to see where they rank defensively right now. So 16th offense. I mean, that doesn't matter too much. 4th defense in the NFL. That's a big jump with J.J. Watt. That's really good. Red zone efficiency, defense. Like I said, they were the worst in, passing yards allowed. So the Chiefs are really bad. So they are... Oh, so they're just a top 10 unit in passing yards allowed now with J.J. Watt midway through the season. Points allowed, they are the 3rd best points allowed defense, and they have, top 10 sack production so far. Not bad. Not bad at all with J.J. Definitely not. But you could definitely see J.J. Watt would definitely help that defense. So let's see what they, what it looks like at the end of the season. If they make the playoffs, let's see if they make a playoff run. Let's see if the Tennessee Titans can get to the Super Bowl with J.J. Watt. So let's do it. Okay, so we ended the season with a win over the Texans. But it doesn't say we have a wild card game. And I don't think we have a first round bye. So I think we started 5-2 and missed the playoffs. Yeah, so we finished 8-8. That's Madden for you. Madden is terrible simulation game. But that's beyond the point. But 8-8 somehow lost the division to the Colts at 9-7. Let's see. Ryan Tannehill played like a top 10 quarterback. Cool. Derrick Henry, Madden. Receiving, Adam Humphries because he probably played in the slot, but Madden. Defensively, Jadeveon Clowney had 15 sacks, 16 tackles for a loss. Like, this dude just excelled playing next to J.J. Watt and Harold Landry and Jeffrey Simmons. Like, just insanely. J.J. 10 TFLs, 7.5 sacks. Any fumbles? So J.J., I think that's better than how he did this year. I think he only had 5 sacks this year with the Texans, but obviously his personnel was terrible. Like, he had no talent next to him. The second best defensive player on that team is probably Justin Reed, Zach Cunningham. Like, like a lot of their guys, they got a lot of young defensive players, and they also got guys that are just kind of, journeyman veteran that never really stuck anywhere as when it comes to the other, the outside linebackers and stuff like that. So I just don't see how this team starts 5-2 and ends 8-8. And the pressure, got better. Still 8th. So a top 10 team in both categories doesn't make the playoffs. So passing yards allowed, we are apparently extremely good. Did I miss us? No, we are top 10 apparently now in the sim when they were one of the worst units in real life in the NFL. Okay, Madden. Rushing yards allowed. Apparently about 10th to 12th, a little bit above middle of the pack when it comes to rushing yards allowed, and then points allowed. Texans, look how bad the Texans got without J.J. Watt, points allowed. They were probably that bad in real life, but what are we at? Wow, look at Tampa Bay. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 15th-ish. So still not that great. And then sack production wise, we were top 5. Which is good. But it's still like, how does this team not make the playoffs? Was JJ even close on any of these awards either? Probably not. Justin Herbert, MVP. Love to see it. Defensive player of the year. Clowney was 3rd. The Browns went 14-2. Jesus. I don't know, man. I don't know. Yeah. JJ didn't have a great year, but when you're getting a guy that's got that presence like J.J. Watt does, not necessarily you're not expecting him to be that same productive machine he was in the past. But Let's go over to the Packers now. Definitely interesting to say the least how we did with the Titans. I think the Titans would have been better than this in real life, but again, it's Madden. So I would say the first team is a fail so far for JJ. So let's get over to the Packers now. Okay, so now we are over on the Packers, and we just signed J.J. Watt onto the team. I think it's funny that every team is making me sign J.J. Watt for $12 million, but he was reported to get like $15 to $16 million offer. Here's an interesting thing. Is pre-existing injuries already on? Because they have all of their like terrible offensive linemen, but I don't know if Bakhtiari is still hurt in the game. I'll check. It's whatever. You know what? It's not that big of a deal. Offense, obviously very good, except, you know, they don't draft first-round pick receivers or weapons for Aaron Rodgers because LOL. But then on defense, I mean, I think you're noticing a trend that J.J. Watt's looking at all 3-4 defenses because he understands who he is, especially going into the, you know, downward of his career. I think he's definitely picking a good choice. I mean, playing with Kenny Clark would be amazing for him. Like the same thing with playing with Jeffrey Simmons. Then here, linebacking-wise, you're going to keep, you know, Zadarius Smith's going to be really good. I think they're going to let Preston Smith go. And, I mean, Rashawn Gary's playing in this scenario anyway. So these guys definitely should get a lot of pressure. And I'm keeping, by the way, the playbooks on the regular teams. I'm not changing it, trying to get some cheesy sim numbers. Like, there's just no point. I think Green Bay would be a good fit. Gets to go home. Definitely has a chance to win a Super Bowl. Me personally, I'd pick any conference that doesn't have Patrick Mahomes in it. But then you could say the same thing about Tom Brady. But I think I'd rather not go against Patrick Mahomes in the AFC for like the next, I don't know, decade. So I think I would go NFC, especially JJ can go home, be a cheesehead, do whatever he needs to do. But I don't know, man. Let's see what the Packers do. I mean, this is a really good team on paper. In Madden, I don't know how the sim's going to play out. I would expect the bottom to be like 8-8, like, you know, the Titans were. But, I mean, you get a guy like J.J. Watt. The production should be there. Zadarius Smith's a beast. Kenny Clark's a beast. Like, they should be the number one top 5 rushing defense. There's no way Kenny Clark and J.J. Watt should be, you know, like that. And they should get a lot of sacks, too, with this defense. So let's sim to the midway point, and then let's check it again. Okay, so we're at the midway point, week 9. Let's see. 4-3 currently. The San Francisco 49ers are 7-1. I mean, okay then. So we're 4-3. Detroit's 5-2. Okay, this doesn't have Jared Goff, I don't think. That's why I said it has the regular rosters. I didn't download anybody. I just kind of wanted to see what he would do like on this season. But as I said, wherever he signs to, if you guys want, leave a like, comment, and I will rebuild that team as, you know, for 3-4 seasons, however long until JJ Watt is just not playable anymore or he's just retires because Madden. I mean, he's an X factor, so it'll take him a while to like really get down and regress really bad. So we'll see. Let's see how he's doing so far. I mean, we're 4-3. We should definitely be better. Aaron Rodgers is, you know, playing like a bum because Madden. I mean, not terrible, but this isn't league MVP Aaron Rodgers. Rushing attack is Devontae Adams is still doing his thing, even not in the slot. Let's see defensively how we're doing. JJ leads the way with 5.5 sacks. Not bad through the halfway point. I would have expected more sacks out of these two so far, Gary and Zadarius Smith, especially when you get a guy like J.J. Watt to put up on the edge. Only 3 TFLs? Damn, we must not be a good team against the run so far. Damn. Snack says 2 sacks. That's hilarious. But, I don't know. That's tough. 5.5 sacks, though. J.J. Watt's playing good. I mean, he might be on a best defensive lineman consideration so far, midway through the season. He might be able to get 10 sacks, so far it's looking better than Tennessee. We'll just see how the team outcome is. We could check where we at. Offense 19th. Yeah, that makes sense. Defense 13th? I mean, not bad. I'm pretty sure Green Bay had top 10 units in both. I mean, they were the number 1 seed in the NFC, so I would expect that. Passing yards. Let's see. This is definitely a better pass defense than the last, Titans were. Like, Titans again. So Green Bay looks to be... Yeah, Green Bay's like a top 10 unit. It looks about rushing yards allowed. How is Dallas that low? Okay, so we're a top. So yeah, we're definitely. It doesn't seem like we have enough TFLs, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Top 5 rushing defense so far, and then defense points allowed. 4. I mean, definitely defense is still on track with J.J. Watt. Nothing changed there. So let's sim to the end. Let's see if they can actually make the playoffs, unlike the Titans did. So. And we'll see if they're able to go on a playoff run and knock off Brady this time, hopefully. Okay, so we lost to the Bears 41-28. I'm just going to assume we didn't make the playoffs.
Playoffs? Don't talk about playoffs.
Obviously, it doesn't show a wild card game. I don't see a first round bye. And the Bears won the division, and we went 8-8, just like the Titans did. We were 4-3 here at the midway point, and 5-2 with Tennessee. I wouldn't expect them to go 8-8 if they added J.J. Watt, but again, Madden's gonna Madden. So I mean, the Bears are an OP sim team, so it is what it is. Let's see how J.J. did. Aaron Rodgers played like I was trying to think. Derek Carr, maybe. I don't know. Not Aaron Rodgers. I don't know why did he get hurt. Why does Jordan Love have? Maybe he got hurt. I don't know. Aaron Jones, not a bad year going into free agency. Devontae Adams going to Devontae Adams. Defensively, JJ had 1 sack the rest of the way. 1. So through 9 weeks, he had 5.5. Through the last 7, he had 1. The TFLs are awful. Like, man, come on, dude. I love to make Madden videos. I really do, but like, they don't care about franchise mode. Ultimate Team, the gameplay is just Oh man, 6.5 sacks for J.J. Watt, 7.5 for Kenny Clark, 4.5 for Kirksey, 4.5 for Gary, like 3.5. Like, get out of here with these numbers. Like, that just, come on, man. 11th offense, or what were we defensively? 15th. I knew it. I called it. Defensively, did we just like fall off completely? Like, so we were still about top 10 in rushing. Okay. The Eagles had the best pass defense in the NFL. Lol, Eagles fans. Passing wise, we were like middle of the pack. 15th maybe, 16th. Points allowed, we looked low. Top 3 defense in points allowed loses because the offense played like complete and utter garbage because Madden Sim. And our sacks weren't even that great. Like I said, the Colts only led the league with 50 sacks. So we were like, 8th? Okay, we're actually more like 12th. But still, like, this is awful. I mean, we're tied for fumble recoveries. Interceptions weren't that great. Okay. I'm going to guess JJ didn't win anything. There we go. Realistic. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. I mean, Herbert won MVP. It's possible. It's definitely possible. I doubt he won Defensive Player of the Year. Jamie Collins. Nice, Madden. Nice. Best D lineman goes to Cam Jordan. No Packers. So far, this experiment has been awful because Madden, but let's do the Bills. In my opinion, I think the Bills were the best fit, even when they like leaked the original 4, which didn't have the Titans. It was the Packers, the Browns, the Bills, and who was it? The Steelers. The Browns, Bills, Steelers, and Packers. Now it says the Titans, Bills, and Packers. And I think the Bills would be the best fit. Even beforehand, I thought the Bills would probably be the best fit. I mean, J.J. Watt just seems like a Buffalo Bill. Like, you could just see him being in that same, thing as like a Bruce Smith. A guy who's just a premier talent on the defensive line, someone like that. You could just see him. Like, I could see J.J. Watt being in Buffalo challenging, fans to wing-eating competitions and just dominating. Like, J.J. Watt seems like that guy. I mean, same thing in Green Bay. I could see him doing a lot of cheese commercials in Green Bay. Not going to get you wrong. But let's get into the Bills. Let's hope that they can actually make the playoffs because, yeah, Madden, yeah. Okay, we're with the Bills. I had to work around a few things real quick because for some reason the Bills were negative in money, which I guess... but it's whatever. But as you can see, Buffalo, obviously, a pretty good offensive unit led by Josh Allen, and Stephon Diggs is just a monster. I want to see who else they eventually surround him with. I know they got Gabriel Davis had a really good year. McKenzie was playing pretty well. Like, they got some nice young receivers, but I could see them adding another guy that's, of quality next to Stephon Diggs. I mean, Cole Beasley somehow an 87 in Madden. I mean, I guess that makes sense. He had a really good year too, but man, Dawson Knox is cool, but defensively, this is the one team that actually would be a 4-3, at least in Madden terms. I mean, they could change their personnel in real life, but in Madden terms, they started out as a 4-3. I considered moving JJ to D-tackle, but I was like, you know what? Let's play him with Vernon Butler, and we move Jerry Hughes over to the other side because I don't even think he's going to come back in real life. But as I said, this is like, what if JJ was on their team this year? Obviously, their secondary is probably the best out of all of the teams so far. I mean, Green Bay's got a good secondary too, but when it comes to talent, they definitely have a lot of talent on this team. Tremaine Edmonds, Milano, really good linebackers. Pass rush with Ed Oliver, and now you'd have J.J. Watt and Jerry Hughes being, the veteran right around J.J.'s age. And then Trey White, top 5 corner in the league. Like, defensively, this team makes a lot of sense for J.J. Watt. It does. I don't think they have a premier pass rusher, but the thing is, J.J. Watt would be more of the pass rusher guy. You'd have him and Ed Oliver and whoever else they decided to put on the other side. It could be Jerry Hughes. Probably wouldn't be. But in this realm, even I think they might let Matt Milano go. I think they might let him test free agency. I mean, when you got to sign a guy like J.J. Watt, you might have to. So I think this team should end up being the best, but I can't believe Buffalo is only an 84 in Madden. Like, they made a conference championship game. They're not like an 88 overall. Like, some of these ratings, I get like they're trying to go slow with it. Like, Josh Allen's an 88. I guess that's fair. He could probably have been a 90 with the way his season was. Diggs is a 97. Beasley, as I said, is 87. That seems kind of high. O-line's decent. But defensively, Trey White, 92. Reasonable. Maybe could argue a little bit higher. Teron Johnson had a really good year. So, Tremaine Edmonds, stand out. Ed Oliver needs to be a little bit better, in my opinion, from where he was picked, where his ceiling is. But I think this team definitely has a chance to be better than 8-8. But let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's sim to the midway point and double back. Okay, I just had to redo the midseason sim because injuries were on for some reason. Because Madden likes changing settings, and Josh Allen didn't play in that sim for some reason. Jake Fromm played, and he wasn't even that bad. He was the number 1 top quarterback, but just didn't seem fair. Okay, so yeah, that's more accurate. Because there was no injuries in the other one that I noticed. With the Packers and the Titans, I didn't notice anything. I could be wrong, but 6-2, just beat New England. This team's looking like how it should be with J.J. Watt. This team is dominant. Remember, the last game Buffalo lost until they lost to the Chiefs last year was to that Cardinals Hail Mary. That was the last game they lost. Like, that's how good Buffalo was last year. So, all right. Josh Allen, top 10 quarterback, fringe, playing like it right now. Devin Singletary, Cole Beasley, sim god. Defensively, Jerry Hughes, 6 sacks. Trent Murphy, somehow, playing still, 5.5 sacks. And limited snaps. J.J. Watt, 4.5 sacks, 6 tackles for loss. Playing pretty well, for sure. Definitely playing pretty well. Matt Milano. Defense is about where I thought it would be. Actually, a lot of guys getting in sacks involved. I forgot they got Epenza. Maybe did they move JJ to defensive tackle and play Epenza? Unless they play him across from J.J. Watt, which they could do too. Honestly, they could do that. Defensively, I didn't even see what we were ranked. 11th offense. Defense, top 10. 24th. Oh my jeez. Rushing yards allowed. Okay, top 3. Top 3 rushing defense. Passing yards allowed. Bottom 2. The New York Giants, I mean, yeah, secondary is pretty bad, besides Bradbury and Logan Ryan. Points allowed. Number 1. How are we the 23rd defense? Madden, how does that make... I guess because 23, though? We lead the league in sacks. We're second in... Was it second? Oh, we were second. I thought I saw Bills. Oh, no. We have no fumble recoveries. Okay. And interceptions were tied for first. So, like... I guess we'll see how the season ends. Hopefully this team doesn't fall apart like how every team's been doing. They've been all started around 5-3, 6-2, 4-3. So let's see where we're at the end of the season. And let's see if we actually have a playoff run to talk about. Okay, here we go. So we won against the Dolphins. Big game in real life. So that would at least give us 7 wins. I don't see we are on the wild card. Excuse me. So wild card, we finished 12-4 with J.J. Watt. So they went down from 13-3 to 12-4. But obviously Madden Sim. So that's pretty good, all things considered. When you think about everything, 12-4. Wow, the division was awful. Miami somehow finished 4-12, not like real life. 6-10 for New England, 5-11 for the Jets. I don't know why I pressed schedule again, but somehow I'm guessing the Chiefs or the Browns are the first round bye. Josh Allen, pretty good, played pretty well, not gonna lie. Zach Moss, 10 touchdowns. Receiving, Cole Beasley went nuts. Stephon Diggs went nuts. Defensively, let's see how many sacks JJ had. What did I say, man? Like, and Trent Murphy had 11 sacks, but like this defense, for some reason, even though I feel like 3-4s get more pass pressure in Madden, J.J. Watt coming up with 14.5 sacks. He had 5 sacks last. Let's see if we can actually see his stats. Yeah, This was the year before. He had 4. Oh, excuse me. I messed that up. Okay, so 14.5 sacks, 14 TFLs. For some reason, TFLs aren't tracking in this game. Why not? 16 sacks the year before. And, I mean, come on. Like, look at... If they could get production like that from J.J. Watt, Buffalo would be terrifying. 14.5 sacks, 14 TFLs. He might be in conversation for Defensive Player of the Year or Best Defensive Lineman in the AFC at the minimum. But, man, and you look at the other pass pressure, really, really good. This defense had to have been top 10. Top 12th offense. It's not bad. Defensively, second. Whoo, they turned it on in the second half. Passing yards allowed. Let's see. 3,500 by the Eagles. Bills. Top 12-ish, somewhere around there. Rushing yards allowed. Over 100 plus more yards than the second team, which is Tampa Bay, by the way. But, man, points allowed. 17 less than the next team. Man, yeah, Cleveland definitely got the first round bye. Let's see the Chiefs somewhere. Where did the Chiefs go? 11-5. Yeah, so they got the first round bye, Cleveland. Man, this defense played insane. 7 more sacks leading the way over a great Tampa pass rush. We got did we get no fumble recoveries? That's weird. Interceptions was also tied for technically 4th, 2nd, whatever you want to consider that. But man, this team is insane. Like defensively, the Bills put up numbers. Like beforehand, J.J. Watt was not going insane like that with the other guys. But like I put him on Buffalo, and man, I mean I know Buffalo's got some good young defensive talent. Deshaun Watson going 11-5 with the Texans without J.J. Watt is hilarious to me. Josh Allen at 6. Let's see AFC. Defensive Player of the Year, Matt Milano. Yeah, he had a good year too. I didn't even peep his stats. With J.J. Watt, I mean, again, you play with another talented guy like J.J. Like, where's J.J.? He's not on here? Dude, J.J. Watt has to be on Best Defensive Lineman. Best Defensive Lineman, J.J. Watt. Dude, it was a stud this year. Straight stud. Now, can they get past the wild card against the Denver Broncos-led Drew Lock team? Oh, they should win this. Definitely should win this. Let's sim to the next week. Man, if you would have told me this was Buffalo from 2 years ago when they hadn't won a playoff game yet, or did they? Who'd they beat last year? Did they? I feel like they beat a team last year. But I'm not talking about this previous year. I know they beat. Was that their first playoff win in a while? It might have been. Obviously, I know this year they beat. Oh no, 2 games. They won against the Colts and they beat the Ravens. So they won 2 games. But the year before, they made the playoffs with Josh Allen. But I think they lost to Houston in the first round, if I'm not mistaken. So that was their first time. So, again, you know, the playoff curse stays alive for Buffalo. 30-24, man, against Denver. Against Denver? Really? Like, really? Where are we at? Bills, Broncos. Like, Drew Lock, 3 touchdowns. Did JJ do anything? Ed Oliver, 2.5 sacks. Addison, a sack. JJ 2 TFLs, but man, that would not be what JJ signed up for. I mean, at least they made the playoffs, but I think Buffalo has a chance to definitely be even they're already a top 4 team without JJ Watt. You add JJ Watt, I think they're definitely, as I said, I think if I was JJ Watt, I would stay away from Patrick Mahomes. He's already tortured you enough. I would definitely try to go NFC, but I think Buffalo is honestly the best fit, and that's why I saved them for last. I think Buffalo is ready to win right now. Obviously, all 3 teams you could say are ready to win right now because they've all played in conference championship games in the last 2 years. Within the last 2 years, Green Bay obviously making it back-to-back, losing in back-to-back, but Buffalo making it this year, losing, and then Tennessee making it last year and losing. So it's definitely a common trend. You just got to see. I think J.J. Watt Buffalo makes a lot of sense. A lot of sense. Add that veteran on the defensive side, and just, you know, you put playmakers on that defensive side just to get it going. But I could see Green Bay too. See him going home. I don't know how much I see Tennessee. I feel like Tennessee's the wild card because it's like, does he want to go play for Vrabel again, or does he want a fresh start? Because I feel like if he goes to play for Vrabel, it's like you're not a Texan anymore, but obviously because everything happened with Bill O'Brien. But like Vrabel was there, so it's like I feel like JJ might want a fresh start and something new that's not like some sort of like correlation with the Houston Texans, because Vrabel obviously was, you know, the linebackers coach and everything like that. So I think it'll be interesting to say the least. I'm interested. J.J. Watt's one of my favorite players to watch in the league. I mean, I even have like his signature shoes I work out in, but like that's beyond the point. But I hope we get to see what happens. I'm going to try to, I think, do a rebuild, whatever team he signs with. Keep it realistic, semi. See what we could do. You know, drafting's so huge. But I think it all depends on where he signs. If he signs to Buffalo, that'll be really interesting to see, and that'll be fun. And, you know, if he signs to Tennessee, I think that'll be less fun. I think if you sign to Buffalo, it's the most fun one you can have in a rebuild, because you could see how long you could go with. Because I feel like, I mean, Aaron Rodgers can play for a while in Madden, but sometimes Ryan Tannehill gets like a good year or two, and then he's like below an 80. Because once you're over 30 in Madden, you don't progress anymore, which doesn't make sense. And the only way you don't regress is if you have a superstar or X factor like development trait. So I feel like I'm running at this point, but thanks you guys for watching this video. It's been Next Mic Up. Let me know what you guys think JJ's going to go out of these three. Hopefully I post this before he signs. I mean, he can't officially sign until like the middle of March anyways, but listen, he said he's down to 3, so we'll see what happens. It's been your boy Next Mic Up. I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace.